To President Obama's very busy day, he will make his first address before the UN General Assembly today, and he will also hold meetings with the leaders of Japan and Russia. CBS News senior White House correspondent Bill Plante joins us this morning from the UN with the details. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Maggie. In that first ever speech to the United Nations, President Obama will say that he is taking U.S. foreign policy in a new direction, and he will ask the rest of the world to join him. The president will tell the world body that his top priorities are curbing the spread of nuclear weapons, acting to slow the effects of climate change, and stabilizing the world economic order.
This is an opportunity not only to engage and to recommit to the UN, which he will no doubt do, but to challenge the UN to deal with the real problems.
Policy discussions aside, no visit to the UN is without drama, as presidents do their best to avoid unscripted encounters with, for example, Iran's President Ahmadinejad, who is certainly not invited to President Obama's reception for almost everyone else. Then there's Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, who just gave a hero's welcome to the released Lockerbie bomber. Gaddafi follows Mr. Obama at the podium today, but you can bet they won't meet. And in a sidelight to the UN meeting, Donald Trump has been drawn into a controversy involving Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. The Libyan leader has pitched an elaborate Bedouin-style tent on Trump-owned land north of New York, apparently without Trump's knowledge. Trump's office says it's looking into the matter, and in a statement they say the property was leased on a short-term basis to Middle Eastern partners who may or may not have had a relationship with Mr. Gaddafi. This, Maggie, falls in the category of you can't make it up.
So true. CBS's Bill Plante at the UN. Thank you, Bill. Joining us now exclusively from Washington is Republican Senator John McCain. Good morning, Senator McCain.
Good morning, Maggie.
Let's start with what Bill Plante just mentioned. Muammar Gaddafi can't find a place where he's welcome here to stay. Do you think maybe he just shouldn't have been invited?
I think his problem is that he can't find a place to pitch his tent. I think there's hotel rooms available. Fidel Castro has come. A number of other people have come throughout the years. His insistence on a tent, I think, is the major part of his problem.
All right, let's get to Afghanistan, because this morning every major newspaper is reporting on how American support for the war there is waning because more troops have been dying ever since that new strategy was put in place back in July. Now General McChrystal wants even more troops, and President Obama is holding off. Do you believe that the president is wise to wait and weigh his options, or do you think he's being wishy-washy at a time when he should be decisive?
Well, first of all, many of us knew that there would be increased casualties, unfortunately, as we moved into areas that are controlled by the Taliban. And second of all, the strategy is there. Admiral Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that that strategy was the one that was developed in March. The president was very strong in March as to what needed to be done. It's clear we need additional troops, and the longer we wait and delay, the more Americans will be put at risk unnecessarily because we haven't implemented a new strategy that will succeed, or certainly can succeed, without sufficient troops, as soon as we get sufficient troops there.
But we have implemented this new strategy where the focus is on protecting Afghan civilians, and more Americans are dying as a result. What about something like what?
Actually, that's not the strategy. Actually, that's not the strategy.
That is?
The strategy, no, it's the strategy
That's
is
a major
to go
focus of the
out
strategy.
and to clear and to, no, the strategy is to go out as we did in the surge in Afghanistan, to clear the areas, hold, work, and operate with the Afghan military as we build it up, provide a stable economic and political environment so that the process of normalization and stabilization can go forward. That's
while trying
the strategy.
Not to kill
That's
as
the
many,
strategy.
While trying not to kill as many Afghan civilians, in hopes that they will be more likely to cooperate with you if you protect them further.
Just as we did in Iraq, yes, during the surge, exactly. And that succeeded, even though many, including the president at the time, did not believe that that would work.
Okay. I'd like to ask you finally about something that conservative commentator Glenn Beck said in an interview with Katie Couric. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but I'm curious what your reaction is. This is a quote, Glenn Beck. "I think John McCain is a weird progressive like Theodore Roosevelt was. I think John McCain would have been worse for the country than Barack Obama." This from a conservative. What's your response?
My only response I can make to a comment like that is anytime my name is mentioned in the same breath as Teddy Roosevelt, I am honored.
Right.
Teddy Roosevelt's my hero. Thanks, Maggie.
All right, Senator McCain, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay.